Washington, as fears mounted this week about the rapid spread of the coronavirus, Speaker Nancy Pelosi swatted away the suggestion of shuttering Congress with a stoic declaration, "We are the captains of the ship. We are the last to leave."
But by Thursday, as the captains of the ship and their crew saw warning signs blinking from the lighthouse, constituents sickened, colleagues quarantining themselves, grim reports about the virulence of the disease, they began to worry that they were in a different kind of vessel.
Members of Congress, Representative Matt Gaetz said on the House floor, wearing a gas mask for emphasis, are human petri dishes.
In a cement and marble Capitol complex teeming with tourists, lawmakers and staff members, anxiety around the coronavirus outbreak, the grim, shuddering after realizing you just touched that constituents folder and then touched your face type of anxiety, has at last arrived.
Days after his gas mask donning stunt, Mr. Gaetz, Republican of Florida, quarantined himself as he traveled with President Trump on Air Force One, after learning that he had had contact with a person who tested positive for the coronavirus at a conservative political conference outside Washington.
Thursday was the day the dam appeared to break. 2 Senate aides tested positive for the virus. Offices began to close in waves. And 2 more Republican senators, Lindsey Graham of South Carolina and Rick Scott of Florida, chose to go into quarantine. The sergeant-at-arms announced that the Capitol and surrounding office buildings would shut down to visitors. A Democratic congressman's spokesman announced that his boss, who was exposed to someone who tested positive for the virus, was unable to get a test. Representative Liz Cheney of Wyoming, the number 3 Republican, directed her aides to work from home.
"We're all having a real conversation about the realness of the situation," said Senator Kevin Cramer, Republican of North Dakota, before assuring a reporter, almost as an afterthought, "But don't panic."
The temptation to do so, however, has only increased as the outbreak continues to spread and more institutions take proactive measures to contain it. On Capitol Hill, while members of Congress have taken pains to present a calm front, a newfound sense of dread has quietly set in, as much among senior lawmakers as among low-ranking staff aides, manifesting alternately as manic denial and gallows humor.
"Don't touch me," Senator Pat Roberts, an 83-year-old Republican from Kansas, ordered when he was approached by a reporter off the Senate floor.
Many college-age interns in the House were recalled home by their universities this week, leaving offices stranded during appropriations season, a time when they are normally dispatched to visit hundreds of offices to collect lawmakers' signatures on official funding requests. In the case of one House office, instead of interns, lower-level aides wearing masks and gloves were sent to collect the signatures.
Lawmakers up for re-election privately discussed how they would handle campaigning. Senator Chris Coons, Democrat of Delaware, said he had planned to knock on doors on Saturday, but canceled the outing after consulting with his campaign staff.
"We were debating, do people want me knocking on their door?" Mr. Coons said.
Ms. Pelosi discouraged reporters from bumping elbows as a greeting.
"Forget any physical contact," she said.
"That is easier said than done in the Capitol, where the coronavirus has created something of a perfect storm. Congress is home to dozens of elderly lawmakers whose sheer age puts them at higher risk, not to mention the fact that they routinely work long hours, crisscross the country by plane, meet with a constantly rotating cast of constituents, lobbyists, donors and experts from around the world, and are by nature eager to shake every hand they see.
Then there are their aides, who work on their committees and in their offices and meet with even more people than their bosses do, running reports and memos back and forth to other aides in other offices. It is an entire network of thousands of type A personalities guided by a belief that they can reason, spin, flatter or glad hand their way out of any and all problems. And it is all best done face to face, not at a distance.
On Thursday, Senate pages could be seen wiping down desks and chairs on the floor, and behind the scenes, enterprising aides bartered their offices' snacks for hand sanitizer. House administrators have ordered 1,500 new laptops before what could be a crush of demands for technology products as congressional offices begin urging staff members to work from home, according to one Democratic aide familiar with the order.
There were islands of nonchalance, perhaps alarming under the circumstances, amid the worrying. A reporter standing in a hallway just off the Senate floor coughed openly into the air just as a member of the Senate leadership walked by unawares. Hordes of reporters swarmed septuagenarian senators with gusto to grab quotes, standing in sprawling scrums just inches away from one another and the lawmakers they sought out. As if on cue, the Senate press gallery issued guidance on Thursday begging reporters to work from home.
Some congressional aides said there was a growing feeling among Capitol Hill staff aides that leaders were putting rank-and-file lawmakers and others working in the halls of Congress at risk. They pointed to the continuation of large group meetings that could have been held by phone, but appeared to carry on under the reasoning that it was important to show that it was still business as usual in the Capitol.
Ms. Pelosi said in a news conference that a group of public safety and public health officials had briefed lawmakers and that they were intent on preventing the spread of the virus. If people have to stay home, they have to stay home, she said.
By the end of the day on Thursday, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the National Basketball Association, Major League Baseball, the National Hockey League and Broadway had all closed or postponed play.
In Congress, though, the show would go on.
Nicholas Fandos contributed reporting.